Hello everyone, welcome back to the Spurs Podcast, and boy, we have a lot to talk about today, boys, don't we?
That was the most scripted boy I've ever heard.
That's going, mate.
Boy.
Boy.
No, well, yeah, kind of.
Oh boy, have we got stuff to talk about.
Apart from Sheffield, in a way we do, yes, but in a kind of way, has much changed?
You're right, actually. So,
Has actually changed, yeah.
Well, I think you were just about to say, Josh, other than Sheffield.
Other than Sheffield and Arsenal, who we can't forget were in a good run, everyone else seems to have just cracked on with it.
Yeah, but we've got. Should we end the pod there then, boys?
Yeah.
Cheers for watching, everyone. So right, we'll go through the games though, because I think, as much as the games have been interesting, I don't know how you guys felt with it coming back. Does it feel weird still, or what? How are you feeling about it?
I had a nice time. To be honest, that's all you can really ask for from football, isn't it? Especially as a Tottenham fan with no hope of winning.
Yeah. I think, like I said last week, it's nice to just watch football again. I did end up watching the first game, even though it was pretty drab, apart from the... Well, we'll get into that, won't we?
Mm-hmm. Tell you what I have been enjoying is the process of not necessarily panicking to watch a game, but I've been walking my grandparents' dogs, I've been nipping to the shops, I've been driving in the car, just talk sports on.
Yeah.
And because there's always football on,
they're always talking about it, yeah.
Radio, no, we're not even talking about it. I've actually got the games on the radio, just coming through.
Yeah.
Not really that invested, but I'm just like, what is Southampton up to? What's Southampton not up to? Don't know.
How they doing? Yeah, no, I get that. And to be fair, I think with the whole no crowd and all the weirdness that's going on, I think that's all been took away from me because I've watched the Bundesliga for the first couple of weeks. So now this is kind of being a bit normal.
It's not the same, though, is it?
It's obviously not the same, but it's not as jarring.
On or off?
I've been doing a mixture of the both. I have.
I can't.
Not each game, but no, I don't mind the crowd.
I don't mind it.
I think you can tell it's on a loop. I think you can tell. You can almost hear the cut off where it goes. Yeah.
Yeah, but to be fair, it's peak because we're like film students, aren't we? So we're going to pick that up more than anyone, I think.
I think
I'm quite interested.
Of crowd noise was, I know we'll get onto it, but when it all kicked off after the Arsenal Brighton game, I don't know if you guys noticed, but whoever's in charge of that sound played booze.
They put booze on. Just
like a little switch. Like no.
I love it. I want to meet that man. I want to see how he sat there with his soundboard. Get him on the pod. We've started booing. Yeah, no, I saw that. Well, let's talk about some actual games. We won't. We'll start with the first game back because, as you mentioned, Adam, that was pretty shit game, the first game to come back. But what were we going to expect with Villa Sheffield?
Yeah, I think we expected Sheffield to win that. Well, I did. Where Aston Villa are, we expected them to sort of cruise that game. But I think what you can see from the stadiums, I think that's affecting a lot of teams. So yes, they should have won. They should have won because obviously.
Well, let's not beat around the bush.
Talk about that goal.
They did win, yeah.
Yeah, they should have won 100%.
No, they would. They would. They scored a goal.
Scored a goal.
Aston Villa did not score a goal. And we're in this really weird, bizarre place where we've brought in VAR and technology and goal line technology and referees and linesmen, and we have all these things. And when 50 million other people can go, oh, that's in, we still haven't allowed it to be in. I don't understand. I get in the days where there was no goal line technology. I get Frank Lampard crying, everyone going, well, it bounced out quite quickly. Fair enough. But now, doesn't happen anymore. Go back now.
There's no excuse.
Award the points because they won the game. And what could Villa really say? Well, that's not fair. We almost got away with it. If you rob a bank and then a week later they catch you, you don't go, well, we didn't get you at the time, did we, lads? So
you didn't get us when the full whistle went. Yeah, no, 100%. And the thing is for me, it's like the Hawkeye thing is what's messed up, obviously. But it's having VAR as well as the Hawkeye to step in and say, no, hold on, Hawkeye got it wrong here because that went behind the line. That's what's mental to me. VAR didn't go, hold on, no. If we can see it on fucking Sky, they can see it.
All of the things like, well, there were too many obstacles. It's like they weren't for everyone else.
Like everyone watching the game was like, oh no, that's gone behind. Second, you show that one angle with the line. But it was fun to start football back with some controversy, weren't it?
Well, you never know. Maybe it was meant to happen.
Meant to be
these days, do you?
Getting all religious on us.
Adam brings the religion to this podcast.
We should definitely move on quite quickly. We've made our point about there's nothing else happened.
No, literally, that was the most.
We've got a lot to get through here if we're going to get through most of them.
Well, let's move on to the second game. And what a fun time that was, eh? What a fun time!
I know we're going to speak about it later on, but can we just quickly? What was the funnier Arsenal game? We already have that conversation, and we're not even a week in yet.
Which was the you're right. So because with this one, with the City one, I guess you expect them to lose, but it's just the way they lost. But with the Brighton game, they shouldn't. They couldn't have
lost in a more Arsenal way, could they? Really?
I preferred the Brighton game. Don't get me wrong. I never want to see an injury, but maupay went a bit rough. That happens in football. He didn't mean to fracture him or whatever he did. But it's just so to him to come out after that game and just be like, the Arsenal players talk too much. And sorry, I know we're not fully going on there, but it was just so beautiful. And just to watch Gundazy just cry in midfield. He is my most hated footballer.
Yeah, I really dislike him. Well, and let's not forget the City shambles with David Luiz. So they had two players go off injured in the first 20. Big David comes on and just wins the game for City. Big super sub.
Yeah. I saw a fun stat that was like that Pablo Mari guy, the defender that looked. Let's not be around the bush. City looked better, but Arsenal looked a lot better with this Pablo Mari guy. Apparently, he played something like 274 consecutive games from the Brazilian team they've bought him off, and has never been injured. And then his first start for Arsenal, he lasted 25 minutes.
Well, I think I saw a stat with him playing for Arsenal. He's not conceded a goal in maybe 200 minutes. It's around that figure anyway. So he does look he's improving Arsenal, but what a shame that they had to bring fucking David Luiz on.
What a shame in inverted commas there.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? We can go there. We can go there because we can talk about the Brighton game as well as this game at the same time. But it's like, what the fuck's going on at Arsenal, man?
Well,
it's just...
It's difficult to comprehend, really, because the gap they closed on Tottenham, they were right on our heels, a point behind. They'd won 10 not 10, but a lot of games in a row. They
drew a lot as well.
They beat United, didn't they, just before the...
Yeah.
Yeah, and then suddenly they're like, oh, hang on a minute, and then they've come back, and Arteta's like, remember boys, remember everything I've said, and then some sort of force ghost Emery's appeared to them, and gone, hello boys, and they're like, oh.
Now you know there's that meme floating around with Joey and Phoebe, and they're repeating stuff. Have you seen that meme? And then right at the end, it's Arsenal. It's like, go score an own goal. It's just, and the question is, and the question on everybody's minds right now is, are they a big club anymore?
Obviously, yes. As to be the most biased person to say that, yes. But here's the thing about Arsenal, and you can say what you want, and the real question here is, when do you let history be history? And Arsenal still hold on to 2004. When does that become ridiculous? And fair enough, they went invincible, amazing. But when does that become ridiculous? I
think that's just still ridiculous. I think that's ridiculous now. I think it's now.
Okay, fair enough. So
it's when you're...
It's the same as me going, oh, fuck you, Jay. Tottenham won a title in 1961, so we're a fantastic team. So,
yeah, it is. I think I genuinely think we're past that point now. I think we've been past that point for a while. You can't use that in your arguments. So when you're struggling these past years,
it pains me to say it.
So would you class them as a top 6 So when you look at the stats, against the big six, are they still one of the big six? Would you say?
They're obviously one of the big six. Like they are, just
they are because of like the money they have and like the following they have and the history they have. But in terms of the football in the last 5 years, they're not.
In the past 5 years, yeah, that's very fair. Probably like just after those run of FA Cups, which sort of like sugarcoated everything, it's starting to not look great for them, and it pains me to say it, but Chelsea are probably the biggest London club. Because the thing is, in even what sort of might edge Tottenham, we both have league titles. Yes, Tottenham were 50 years ago, and I'm not claiming years ago, and I'm not claiming to be impressive by that. But Arsenal's were nearing 20 years ago now, and the only European trophy Arsenal have ever won is the European Cup Winners' Cup and an Intertoto Cup.
Yeah.
Tottenham at least have a few UEFAs under their fucking belt. I'm not saying Tottenham are bigger than Arsenal, I'm not. But over the past 10 years, the swing's definitely gone in our favour, and over the past 20 years, the swing has definitely gone in Chelsea's favour.
Yeah, 100%. And it's just... It's beautiful to see.
It is beautiful to see. I mean,
basically.
Do we know who their next game is?
I can quickly check.
I think we should quickly just check that, because it'd be fun to just... there's always something so much worse about 3 defeats than 2 defeats.
So the next game's Southampton.
Southampton and Arsenal. I can see that being a difficult game. Honestly, he's got them.
100%.
They've just smashed Norwich. Arsenal is a good manager. They've got that weird captain thing between Ward Prowse and Højbjerg. But apart from that, I'm looking forward to it.
I'll tell you what though, staying with Arsenal, it's not just their next game. I think they've got, so out there, the last games they've got, they have to play Southampton next, Sheffield after that, who, yes, they lost to Newcastle, but they're above them in the table. They're fighting for like a European spot. You've got Norwich, which is air. You've got Wolves, who are again fighting for a European spot. You've got Leicester, who are third. Then Spurs, and then ending it with Liverpool.
Yeah, but then at that point, Liverpool won't have anything to play for 5 games. So,
true.
It's difficult.
But like, I think it's important with the Wolves and the United games, because they're the games that you kind of want to pick some points off at least. But these teams are fighting for Europe this season. At the end of the season.
I do think, this may be the next point we go on to, I guess, but I do think this break is the worst possible thing that could happen to Sheffield. I think we've seen it.
I agree.
We've seen them done now, and it's not just because they lost 3-0 to Newcastle. It's not just a reactionary thing. I just think that's teams like that, Leicester winning the league, Sheffield's push, are just built on momentum, and that is the pure foundation. And to have 3 months off and have every side that is stronger than them on paper regroup, I think they're going to be in trouble. Not in trouble.
Yeah,
they'll survive.
I mean, you're right. But I think, you're right, and especially with like the likes of Tottenham, Wolves around them, even United around them, who are better teams and have had this time to recuperate. They might start falling down. At least they'll still be above Arsenal.
Yeah, you could see them drop to 10th. 9th or 10th, you never know, because you've got Palace who are only 2 points behind him in 9th. So, but even still, finishing 9th is a good season for them.
Finishing,
they just got promoted.
17th would have been a great season for Sheffield. Let's not beat around the bush. That's not even disrespectful.
No, 100%, and maybe they can pick up some momentum for next season. You're right, but it does look slightly disappointing for them. But who knows? They might have a second win towards the end.
And also, remember, we've seen what happened when Burnley got into Europe. We've seen what happened when, did West Brom almost qualify? I think they got knocked out in the preliminaries or something.
Yeah.
These teams struggle with those extra games. So maybe next season will be a bit easier without this European burn.
Yeah, and then they might to solidify their spot in the Prem and then move on to Europe. You're completely right. Well, shall we move on to your game, boys? Spurs United, which I personally think...
Norwich, Southampton. Okay, that's fine. I'll just get rid of my notes, but okay.
Sorry, did you have like a page note on that?
There was a lot I was going to say, but honestly...
just get rid of it.
The good people will never hear it. So we're going to talk about, and I quote, Jay, the deadest game.
So, Adam said in our group chat that was the deadest game, or a dead game.
A dead game. I was not... Right. Obviously, it's our first game back. It's everyone's first game back. I was just really, really disappointed in the way both teams were playing. I just thought it was...
They played better than... Apart from City, who were like a different gear, our two teams played the best football of any of the teams. I don't...
I'm criticising my own team here now. I didn't like the way we played. Our back four was woeful. You should have saw the line. It was like a zigzag.
Well, honestly, will give you that. Fair enough. Like
the build-up play was sloppy. The amount of time the ball was lost for both teams due to a shit pass. Yeah, apart from the penalty that shouldn't have been a penalty anyway, and your goal, there was just not much really happened, I thought.
Well, what I would say, weirdly,
got a point there, to be fair.
There is a point there. What I would say is, feel free to disagree with me. I imagine you will. For me, this is my look on the game. Tottenham were surprisingly better all first half, and then Tottenham got a bit scared and we retreated, which allowed you guys to build loads of momentum and equalise. And then as soon as we realised, oh shit, we were better again. We would have won that game if we didn't shit ourselves and just retreat back.
I mean, let's face it. I think you should have won that game anyway because that wasn't a pen.
Yes, it was.
You can right. It was a pen by. It's one of those weird ones where technically by the letter of the law, it's a pen. But the fact is, it's a bullshitly soft pen, Adam. You would not have been angry if it hadn't been given.
Soft.
His hand isn't... It's not like Louise on whoever it was, the City player.
I thought it was very similar to that. He's been
it's
caught flat-footed against Pogba, so now he's had to catch up to himself, and he's made a mistake and he has to pull him down.
He doesn't pull him down, though. His hand... There's a difference between a hand being on the player and a hand being... grabbing the sleeve, pulling it back. There was no pull back. There was no grab. There was no trick.
But you can't.
It was
a slight shoulder barge. He had hold of him though, didn't he? You can't dispute that.
He didn't have hold of him.
For me, if you're in the penalty box and you're a defender, you can't do that.
I know you can't do it, but it's still soft. It was
very soft.
Essentially, it was one of the things I'm sick of hearing from players. From fans, is that it wasn't a dive, and this is especially regarding to the second penalty that was overturned. It wasn't a dive. He was expecting the contact. What the fuck is that if not a dive? A fancy way of saying dive. Why was Bruno Fernandes not booked for that second penalty, Adam?
Yeah.
Okay, I can agree with you on this point. When he gave the penalty, the second one, I thought, what's he give there? I thought he's given handball. So I had no idea what he'd give. Because I spilt a drink, so I was cleaning it up.
It would have been very hard.
But you know what? That's VAR working there. You can give VAR because ref called a pen.
Everyone knew.
VAR went, no, it's not. But I mean, that was VAR working.
Yeah, I can probably agree that he did dive because I don't like it when anyone dives. Let it be my own players as well. But the first one, there's no disputing. He didn't dive, did he? He was brought down.
He
wasn't brought down.
He wasn't brought down.
He was nudged.
So you're saying he dived?
I think he dived. I think I'm not saying there wasn't contact. 100% there was contact. But Pogba absolutely had him. And the skill Pogba showed, he could have continued to have him and get it in the box. But instead, he felt a little nudge off Dier, which wasn't a lot of contact, minimal contact, and went down.
And to be fair, it's one of those ones as well where Dier was made to look silly anyway. It's not the actual penalty I have an issue with, it's all the silliness beforehand. Dier was humiliated. That's upsetting.
Yeah.
If you watch that clip back, and I fully recommend you do, I love this man, but watch Harry Winks. If he had doubled up with Dier, we win that game. But Harry Winks just sat at the edge of the box, sort of had a jog and a look, and then watched it all unfold. And it was
absolutely ghosting,
it wasn't great from him at all. But no, I do think
Josh,
there's a
here's
fine
a question then. Oh, sorry, but I was going to say, do you feel like after both performances in that game, is a draw deserved?
Yeah, no, to be fair, I always thought it was a draw,
so, yeah.
And I think the draw. I think that the reason I think the draw was deserved was obviously because De Gea should be dealing with Bergwijn's shot. The shot wasn't great. The run was phenomenal and borderline world class, but the actual shot wasn't
just
great.
Went around. Maguire looked like a twat.
Yeah, he just caught our back four totally off guard, and
that was great. But
he did a circle around Maguire.
Is for me the best moment of the game, and I think the probably apart from maybe De Bruyne's passing, one of the best moments of pure footballing skill since the restart was Lloris's save off Martial.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god!
You're gained so much from him back.
Unbelievable save that was. I know we've been not really rating Lloris for a few seasons now. I still love him, but I understand that he has his weak points. That save was phenomenal.
Yeah,
100%. And he made a couple like it.
I think if that goal that went in, we'd have won the game because I think that would have given us momentum.
Martial couldn't believe it. You saw his little angry side eye as he walked off. That he always does. He was like...
Yeah. I know the one as well. I mean,
obviously, the one from Rashford was great as well.
Going back to your point, Jay. Yeah. So I'd take the draw. I think you would as well, Josh, because the worst thing I think could have happened for either of us was to get a lost first game. Because that's, again, it's all about momentum now. Now there's 8 games left. I think it's trying to just keep going on. I think we both... Go on.
No, sorry. All I was going to say was any of the big teams would have taken a draw playing each other. Arsenal v City, Tottenham v United. In those kind of games, you'd take a draw. If Chelsea came back and weren't playing Villa, who, let's not forget, are 19th, they would have taken a draw. It's just one of those. It was fine. I enjoyed it. My mate came around, we socially distanced, we sat in the garden, football was back, I had far too many beers. Good time.
As a neutral, to be fair, that was probably the most entertaining game of the weekend.
And I'm really glad we didn't murder Rashford.
Yeah, that's good. Well done, lads. So you mentioned it. Let's move on to our game real quick. Don't have to speak about it for too long, but boy, was I shitting myself at the end of the first half.
Yeah, I kind of tricked myself into forgetting that Villa were not a good team. When they scored against Chelsea, I was like, you know what, they're a good team, aren't they? And I remembered that the only reason they kept a clean sheet last week out of I think a stupid amount of games of conceding goals was because of that robbed goal. So it was always going to happen.
No, you know what it was though. So for the whole game we was on top of them, but it felt like the similar thing that we've done all season was we just weren't finishing anything or weren't even creating anything, and then they countered us, and we just fell flat and couldn't hack it. And to be fair, the ball in, I don't know who whipped the ball in. It might have been Grealish, but the ball in for the first shot that Kepa actually saved, funny enough, really good save, was perfect. But then they got the rebound and scored, and I was absolutely terrified. I really was, because like you said, Adam, you don't want to start this restart with a lose, especially against Villa. But you know what, we were the better team. We were the better team, and we got the win, luckily. I mean, it was... Have you seen the goals, boys? The first goal for Pulisic's goal, Azpilicueta's pass was just on his foot. It was perfect. I was really happy with that. And we kind of got lucky with the second one, I think. Giroud had a deflection. But I think that game, for the first time in so long, I had to just take a deep breath and go, oh, thank fuck.
Horrendous kit there.
Oh, our kit. You know what? The thing is, why aren't we wearing the white? I'm wearing the white one now. Why aren't we wearing this? No, but the collar comes down to his belly button.
Look,
it's disgusting. we only wore it because there'd be people watching.
It's a really tiny thing, but Chelsea always do those elaborate artworks before a game.
Yeah.
I did notice there had this massive collage of every Chelsea player, Lampard in the middle, all of the black and orange. I studied that for quite a while because there was no Giroud in there.
Was there not?
Give the man a break. He's proved himself.
He started the game? He started the game?
He's proved himself. But they were they must have forgotten. There was Batshuayi was in there. Fear not.
Oh, what a joke.
I didn't know
that, no.
I just was like...
That's something that last pod we were discussing, we don't know about the starting 11, and it was quite interesting to see who Frank started. I was happy to see Kante back, and he had a really good game. I was happy to see Ruben in there.
There he is.
But he didn't do that great. But you can't blame him though for having 12 months off. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Without playing proper football, I can't blame him for that. But I was happy to see him in there. Mason Mount had a really good game. He really did. I don't know if you did. You just watch the whole game?
No, God no.
No, like Mason had actually a really good game. He was just sharp. He didn't look like it had been a couple months. He was class, and I'm really happy with that. So there were some good performances in there, and I think Chelsea fans could be happy with that.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, before I know we've discussed it, the Arsenal Brighton game. Just quickly, just because we touched upon it because of Arsenal City, but just in terms of Arsenal Brighton as well. Fuck me, I've forgotten. I had a point. Well.
He had a point. It doesn't matter anymore. It's like the Southampton Norwich game. Right. Doesn't matter anymore.
Cut that out, okay? Let's move on. There was a. I think another big question that we can ask in this pod.
You know he's not cutting that out.
Yeah, probably isn't.
Never do.
I think the most important question as well that we can have in this pod is we all love a derby, don't we?
Of course.
Is there a worse derby than the Merseyside derby in terms of the actual games?
Yeah.
They're always shit.
This game was shit as well. You know what?
The last few have been dreadful, haven't they?
They're just... Yeah, it's like Everton don't have the quality to make it a good game, and Liverpool still shit the bed. It's just weird.
Like, you know what annoys me as well? There's always so much hype over the Merseyside derby, as if it's like the biggest derby in all of England.
Anything that calls itself a friendly derby can't be like.
There you go. Exactly. And you know what? Everton should have won it. They had great chances.
Tom Davies hitting the air post and who's their striker? Calvert, was it with Richarlison not squaring
Calvert-Lewin.
it? No, Richarlison didn't square it. They had that game on a plate, and I think there was maybe 2 chances from Liverpool, but I think that should have been the definition of a smash and grab, and Everton can feel very, very unlucky that they didn't.
Yeah, they've only got themselves to blame. They really should have put some of them goals away. Well, boys, it's been a big weekend.
Wow.
Obviously, City and Burnley still have to play. We're not done. We've got to go part 2, boys. But it's a big weekend. I'm so happy to be talking about football again. Football that we actually care about. Yeah, like it feels good. But we'll take a break and we'll come back for part 2.
Welcome back. We're going to talk about the fixtures coming up, aren't we? I don't know who's playing first out of our 3 teams.
So I think it's Spurs West Ham.
We're playing on Tuesday. So tomorrow.
Oh, so you lot are playing Tuesday, the night this comes out.
Yes.
Right.
So go on, Josh. Let's hear about it.
So yeah, it's Tottenham West Ham. It's a London derby. It's at our stadium. West Ham are like Arsenal on steroids in terms of how much of a joke they are, but still, the issue with being Tottenham, I have mentioned this before, is that not necessarily you, Jay, but who would you say most Chelsea fans hate most?
Spurs.
Who's most Arsenal fans hate most?
Spurs.
Who do most West Ham fans hate the most?
Spurs. Well, that says something about you, doesn't it? That says something about you, you fucking bastards.
No, it doesn't. It means. No, what I'll tell you what it means. It means that Arsenal and Chelsea are the established hierarchy, and they can't deal with the fact that Tottenham have got themselves into a place to challenge them, which annoys them. Arsenal because they moved into our territory, Chelsea because they feel threatened, and it also means West Ham used to be able to look at Tottenham and kind of go, yeah, well, we're kind of similar. We've got some decent players. They've had Hoddle and Gaza. We've had Di Canio, but we're both a bit, meh. And then we fucked off and went, fuck off, West Ham. And they went, no, please. And you're our biggest rivals. And we went,
ever since they've tried to get bigger with their bubbles, and it just never worked.
And they tried to get those big bubbles and big empty stadiums. One of my favourite facts is that Tottenham actually were also offered the Olympic Stadium. And Levy completely said, yeah, we'll take it, but we have to knock it down. And the London Council went, absolutely not. It's a historical landmark. And Levy went, all right, well, it's not a football stadium, so I don't know what you want then. And then Karen Brady walked in and went, hello!
Well, we were offered it as well, and we said God no as well to that. So literally everyone in London's gone no, and West Ham have gone, go on then.
I don't like it. I don't like the idea of it being West Ham. I like the idea of it literally just being Karen Brady.
Yeah, true. I'll say that.
Karen Brady FC.
Yeah.
Just taking it. But yeah, so we should win it. We're a better team than West Ham. They literally have bought Jared Bowen, who is a good player, and made him a starter immediately. It's Jared Bowen. He was Hull's best player. That shouldn't be, but they've got Declan Rice. We don't like him. They've got their defence is almost as was worse than ours. We'll probably lose.
But you know what as well. I'd absolutely love to see West Ham get relegated, and they're so close. They're 17th.
Yeah, they are.
I think I would as well. I don't know why. There's just something about West Ham.
I think it's the fact also that they have been relegated, and so have Newcastle. But Newcastle currently look worse off, and Newcastle are a far better club. So just to have West Ham overtake them in the relegations would be nice.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can help that happen. I think it's going to be 3-1. I reckon they'll score first. We'll get shit ourselves, and then we'll start playing a bit of football.
You know what I didn't mention before, sorry, with your game though, but Harry Kane didn't look too sharp in your game. Hopefully he turns up.
No, but you have to remember he was one of the properly injured ones.
Yeah, of course.
So
of course.
I'm not too worried about that. And also remember the whole myth of him not being able to score at the start of the season. Maybe he's just taking a bit of time again.
It's the start of the season. You're right.
Well, Mourinho's come out today, hasn't he? I've not actually read the interview, but he went on a 4-minute rant about how Kane. So someone basically said Kane does not fit into the way you play football to Mourinho, and apparently Kane's gone in this 5-minute rant about how he's absolutely perfect for his style of football. I've not watched it yet, but I need to have a look at it.
Well, he is definitely there are similarities between Kane and Drogba, and you can't argue that Drogba was not a success in Mourinho. Like, they're both good in the air, they're both fantastic forwards that could be a focal point for a team. Mm-hmm. Mourinho just needs to turn Harry Kane into a little bit more of a bastard.
Yeah. And he needs to tell him to stop dropping so deep. So deep. He's a brilliant goal scorer, and he's good on the ball. I'm not trying to say that, but if he just needs to stop dropping so deep, he'd be even better.
Well, he sees himself as a number 10, and he does help a lot of things go. And we kind of needed that against United because Lo Celso was injured and Eriksen's been sold. So
yeah,
and obviously Ali was suspended. So we did need that hole filled.
Yeah, but also he's there, and then he's like, all right, let's get it up, and then there's no one there other than Son, who's fucking dipping on his own. You know what I mean? If someone was actually there doing that job, they'd have Son and Kane up front. Do you know what I mean?
Well, you say that, but this is just one last part about the Tottenham United game, which I completely forgot to mention. I don't know if you guys saw, when Harry Winks played quite a poor ball to the wing to get Gedson Fernandes.
Yeah.
And Gedson Fernandes let the ball run past him and just stopped running. It was one of the worst things I've ever seen. It wasn't a good ball from Winks. It wasn't. But he literally just saw it, was sprinting, and then just decided he couldn't get there. And I promise you, he could get there. And I've never seen such a lack of being bothered in the league before. And I really hope that he just briefly went... No, I hope that he briefly just got a bit confused about where that ball really was.
You'd like to think,
and kind of got a bit mixed up, but I worry. But anyway, Tottenham, West Ham, 3-1. Let's fucking have it. Who are you playing, Adam?
We have got Sheffield. So, we've spoke about Sheffield. They've not had the best start. I said today to my dad, funnily enough, I said, if we beat Sheffield on Wednesday, I think we could pretty much secure 5th. But then I forgot that Wolves were on the same points as us. Mm. So Wolves are actually currently 6th. But, go. Obviously, we got the much stronger squad. I'm guessing Pogba's going to start because, for me, he changed our dynamic. No, he didn't change the game. He changed the dynamic of how we played on Friday.
He did do well. I will give him that.
I do think he'll start. Again, I don't really have much to say about it because it's just a game we just should win. Basically.
I mean, it's a game that, if you don't win, Wolves have Bournemouth, who aren't looking too great, so Wolves should win that game. And then then you're getting overtook by Wolves, and then you're also allowing Sheffield, who are in 7th, to gain points on you. It's a must-win game if you ask me, because of the players around you, the teams around you.
Yeah, definitely. And I think with the way Sheffield performed last week and the way we performed, I think it should be a comfortable win. Again, I think I'm going to copy Josh. I'm going to go for 3-1.
Big.
Our squad is just much, much better in it, and it should, and I say this, it should come out.
I hope I'm clipping
One
that
thing
for
I
next
did
week.
So
also forget, just in terms of when you mentioned Pogba coming in, what a boring narrative that was on Sky. It just would not shut up. Pogba and Fernandes. We're finally seeing Pogba and Fernandes. No Pogba in the lineup. Pogba's coming on now. We'll finally get to see a glimpse at him with Fernandes, as if every Premier League fan was just jizzing all over the thought of these two people playing together.
United fans are though. You lot were a mental Fernandes. I've never seen someone come in for like so little games and how mental.
I said this the other day. Fernandes got man of the match. I didn't think he was all that great.
He was good. Yeah, I thought he was good.
I mean,
he's the change in what we need, but he wasn't. He didn't stand out for me.
He was the one player that actually I got scared of whenever he was just loitering about the edge of the box. I was like, do not pass it to him. Do not pass it to him. Anyway, Jay, who are you playing?
Yeah.
So Chelsea.
Sorry, Adam, are you still talking? Who's going?
No, I was going to conclude and say 3-1.
Conclude 3-1. Thanks, Ad.
Okay.
So we have Manchester City, so it's one of them, isn't it? Like, I'm really happy that we beat Villa in the end, because that's really important 3 points to go, because this game it's very unlikely that we will get 3 points. They looked really good against Arsenal. I know Arsenal are shit, but they looked really good, and we didn't look too great. I mean, we're still getting fresh, so it's a game that I'm not 100% confident that we're going to win. I mean, I'd fucking be happy if we do. I think we'll give a good game. It could end up being a draw, but it's going to be very unlikely for us to win that.
Okay, that was concise.
Short and sweet.
I'll be honest with you. I listened to everything you said. I promise. I just missed who you're actually playing.
Manchester City.
Oh right, okay, yeah, you fuck. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. They looked really dangerous.
Yeah.
Kevin De Bruyne looked just like back and ready. And
a good fantasy Premier League captain to have, one would say.
He definitely would be. So that's a great transition.
We're not talking about that,
Josh, into our fantasy teams. We're not going to go too in depth, but how did we all do, boys?
Fuck John Fleck. Or not Fleck. Is it John? Is it John Fleck? It's not John, is it? Fuck you, Fleck. He didn't play. Dunk fucking smashed it. Dunk's my first substitute. I was like, Fleck, stay on that bench. And then they didn't just put Fleck on. Didn't just go, there you go, Fleck. Took Ludstrom out. Fuck you. But yeah.
I made the conscious decision of making Aubameyang my captain.
Good.
Well done, mate.
That's all I have to say.
I did actually quite well. I mean, Henderson got probably the most points, I think, for me, so that's really good. I've still got Aguero to play tonight, but I don't know if he's actually going to play. He didn't play in the last game. Who knows? But you know what? Overall, I did okay, actually. I didn't move anywhere in any of our groups, but
I'm still dead last, but I did well.
Yeah, so I think for my substitute this week, I'm going to get rid of Grealish and get someone in, because I only had Grealish in because get rid of him. Well, Grealish only had 2 games for me for this week. That's the only reason why I had him, but I'm going to get rid of him now and use that one transfer.
Fleck's the same amount as Kante. What is this world we're living in?
That's mental. Kante played really well as well.
Kante's coming in. Or maybe not Kante, maybe someone else, but just not Fleck. Fleck's betrayed me and I will not stand for it. Might fuck off Ludstrom too.
Whoa, come on. Whoa, you leave Ludstrom out of this, mate.
He's done. He's finished.
Right, we got anything else to talk about, boys? Are we close to the end here?
Yeah, Ludstrom. He's finished. No, we're close to the end because I must depart these lands now. So,
cool. Well, you know what?
Either I can leave or we can all leave.
We're going to all leave. We're going to sign off. I really had a good time, boys. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for watching. Tell your dads.
Tell your dads.
I'll tell my dad tomorrow. I'm picking him from the airport.
Oh, how fun.